felt like he struck the ball quite well. His break was a little suspect at times. Gonna get a good look at it for the first time today. And pretty interesting. He had told me off to the side, and I'll probably mention this multiple times, he told me that he never plays the one in the side. Looked like he tried to play it there, but nothing down.
Marvin Asis this year. A couple of 9th place finishes in the Chinese Taipei Open and the Lushan Open, much more recently. Last year, he was a semi-finalist in the TE Capital 9-ball in Singapore, and he's highly rated in his native Philippines. But the first shot was a mistake.
Yeah, Phil, and I really feel like that first shot, just like the first game, can set the tone of the match. We've talked about that over and over. Earl needs to make something happen here. He's come all the way through there. The 3-4 was laying really good. I wondered if he could check that ball with inside and avoid the traffic up there. Neither here nor there. He's made the 1. Does he go with the 9 or does he go with the 2 here? Felt like things were awfully tight going at the blue.
So today, it is a really busy day out there in the arena. 4 different rounds will be going on. Winners qualification, if you get through that, it's just one match today and your work is done. But on the one-loss side, that's very different. This is 3rd round on the one-loss side. We have some 2nd round matches as well going on, and then it's losers qualification after that. That's why this is a race to 8. And if either of these two lose, that's it, because they've already suffered 1 defeat.
Yeah, somebody's got to go home here. Neither one of them want to make an early trip of it. And nice shot by Marvin Asis. Earl already pointing around the table. He's got options at how he wants to kick this ball. He's going to go to the long rail. Nice hit. Doesn't want to contact the pink. Big opener for Asis.
Yes, so Marvin Asis in this tournament so far, he began with a 9-2 win over Eric Picard, then lost 9-2 to Billy Thorpe, who's been playing some very nice pool here. But he progressed yesterday, beating Gregorio Sanchez 8-4. As for Earl Strickland, we saw his first match, highly entertaining, against Mike DeLauder. He won that 9-4. It was a very speedy affair. And he was going nicely against Piers Labutis of Lithuania, 2nd up. Labutis, runner-up in this year's Derby City Classic 9-ball. Strickland led 5-3. Ultimately, though, he was beaten Hill 9-8. But yesterday, didn't have to play again because he received a bye in the next round because of the absentee Gabe Owen.
Yeah, well, thanks for that, Phil. This is a little awkward. He's got options again. He can play it to the top left, but he's closer to the ball if he goes to the top right. It's a real thin hit, killing it out. 2 rails, I believe. He's going to come to the 3rd. Oh, this is really nice. Wants it to run a little further. Still work to do. And 9 on the top end of the right middle pocket. Wants an angle on the 8. He's got to get the 7 down. I like the way he played it. He was aware of the line the whole time. It's a little awkward as far as drawing the ball. You don't want to go into the right center. Yeah, he's just going to stay low. I have a steeper cut than I think he planned. This is missable. Definitely not wishing it on him.
Nicely done from Marvin Asis. He takes the opening rack. I just wonder, you know, whether he's ever played Earl Strickland before. It is a very different experience. One thing he will know for sure, Strickland's reputation and extraordinary accomplishments over the years. Strickland has been a professional pool player for 43 years.
Yeah, pretty fascinating. He can still really play. He strikes the ball well. Obviously, his break suffers a little bit. Even the cut break suffers slightly. I think if there was any area he could really spend more time on, it's that. He's still, well, in my opinion, he's still capable of beating anyone in a short race. If you don't have the break, well, you can easily be left behind.
Just a handful of losers' second round matches going on. Christos Papageorgiou has taken the first rack from Brentworth. Same for Nick Malai over Joe McGee, and the youngster Sam Henderson from the American Midwest in Iowa. He's got bags of potential, and he's leading Patrick Gonzalez, a good player from the Philippines, by 1 rack to 0. Also, in losers round 2, Bernie Regalario is taking on Bill Smith. That's on table 11, still in the first rack. To give you an extent of just how busy it's been here over the last 3 days, this is officially match number 397, and there's plenty more to come.
Gonna get a good look at this break. So far, it's looking real good. The 3's going to come up as well. This might be one of the best breaks I've seen on this table yet. We've covered it since day 1. Look at how close to center he is. The 1 directly into the middle. Got the 2 down and the 3 dressed up to the top right. Anywhere out the middle. No problemo. Making sure the 6 plays in the lower left. That really opens the rack up. Yeah, he didn't want to fall flat or have a bad angle on the 5. He wanted to come more towards the left side of the center table, but this should be okay. I like his demeanor around the table. Very calm. Might be the right demeanor to have against the guy he's playing. Came to the short side. Does he have to contend with the 9 now, or the 8, or can he draw back and avoid everything? Yeah, I'd say Earl has his work slightly cut out for him this match. He's going to have to break good in order to win this match, in my opinion. As Phil said, today is Judgment Day. The loser of this match, they'll be taking a ride back home. Always a good sign, Phil. Split the pocket with the brown 7.
It is marvellous Marvin Asis who takes a 2-0 lead with a break and run out. Of course, marvellous Marvin Hagler One of the great middleweights. The Four Kings, wasn't it, in the 80s? He fought here. Now, from the start, you know, I've just sensed with Earl Strickland, he's been a little abrasive, a little edgy. He's been chatting away and doesn't seem happy at all. Do you get the same vibe?
Yeah, I do. I do get the same vibe. He's always sitting there with the arms crossed, which I have always felt is a negative signal to his opponent. But he's been walking around the last few days in some platforms, some 3- and 4-inch shoes. I don't believe he really has those on today. I think those are 2-inch.
Well, the thickness of the butt of his cue has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah, one of a pogo stick over there and really dissecting it with him yesterday in the practice area. It's got to be well over 70 inches long. He thinks it's around 35 to 37 ounces.
That's incredible. So what is the science behind it?
He feels like the cue really goes through the ball without much effort. That's his thinking. He thinks he can get through the cue a lot better. I asked him, I said, but what happens when you're on the rail? Boy, I like this guy's break. If he continues to break like this, he's going to be tough to beat going forward if he can get comfortable. But the one really nicely to the side, and the cue ball in great position every time. What do you think, Phil? Does he just stop right here on the 2, or does he bring it back? Oh, he could go forward. He had the right angle on it. That's always another option.
We often talk about the Filipinos and the fact that the Philippines is the great powerhouse of pool. And I think this is one of the reasons. Marvin Asis would be considered not in the very top bracket of their players, and yet he's excellent.
Yeah, I love his demeanor. There is zero panic in this guy, at least so far. Of course, he's leading 2 games to 0. Could have something to do with it, but now just wants to avoid the 9. 6 a little funny, past the left side pocket. Yeah, what a clean hit. He needs that to settle. He doesn't want to get too thin, but he should be able to wrap around the top right corner with a low right ball.
Yesterday, our penultimate match saw Loho Sum have a very tough workout against Landon Hollingsworth, and in that match it seemed at one point as though a break and run out was an impossible dream. Here we could see 2 in succession. We should see 2 in succession.
Yeah, he wanted that to carry a little bit more. I think he could hold it. Problem is, as you see, the big 9 ball over here, just right of the 8. A couple more rotations, and he's got an angle where he can really hold on the 6 to play the 8 in the lower right. If he chooses to come all the way back to there, he could get extremely thin on the 8. Oh, he's going to go past and into the 9. No, he never even touched it. How is that, Phil?
It will do. These two have been playing for less than 15 minutes, and already Marvin Asis has a 3-0 lead. This is losers round 3 and some other contests in this. Casper Matikainen sent to the 1-loss side by Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, leads Hunter Lombardo 2-0. Interesting match between Matt Edwards and Roberto Gomez. Edwards 1-0 up. Nicholas De Leon, he leads Sean Wilkie 1-0. Roland Garcia, fellow countryman of Marvin Asis, is 2-0 up on Khalid Al Ghamdi. Charles Darwin Vergara 2-0 on Sharik Saeed. Robert Hart and Julio Burgos 1-1. Another Filipino, Michael Feliciano, is 2-0 up on Barry Hetherington. Now, a big shout out to Barry, because after beating Barry Hearn centre stage yesterday, he completed one of the biggest shocks of this tournament so far, overcoming last year's US Moscone Cup player, Shane Walford, 8-7. Other matches going on. Lucas Fracasso Werner 1-0 on Victor Zielinski. Eric Hjorleifsen 1-1 with Darren Appleton. Same for Brett Stottlemyre and Marcel Price. Masato Yoshioka leads Tyler Steyer 1-0. I think that's a really big match for Steyer. Obviously he's in Moscone Cup contention, and an early exit here would be hurtful in that regard.
No, he was actually very confident coming in this week. Our very own Jeremy Jones delivering a major hill blow to Steyer. I'll tell you what, though, looking through this, you know, we've got some American hopes out there, which I really like. Lucas Werner, Payne McBride, obviously Steyer, Sam Henderson. We've got some ability out there. Another look at this break. Well, Phil, he's missed the one in the middle for the first time.
All the way through the intermission between racks, Earl Strickland was barking away at some member of the audience, venting his spleen. He wasn't like that in his first match out here. He was calm, under control. Not so far today.
He's got work to do to get to the threes. Missed the two in hopes of getting on the three. I believe this three is snookered. Yeah, take another look. He's just caught it a little thin, really. He's trying to force an angle with that left spin to get to the right side of the table. That's about all he could do. I don't know if Earl's going to have a look at this ball or not. It's close, I think. Body language tells me it's not straightforward. And a two-row kick behind this or just across the face? Oh, that's a nice hit. Needs it to run. Still a nice hit. Couple options here for Asis. He could just chip the two down behind the 6 and 3. I think there's a reward if you go for the make. You can also be punished. Let's see if Earl finally draws blood. Very nice there, back and forth. He is talking it up a little bit, Bill. Really, the work is to get to the 5. Assuming he'll draw back here. There's the big power stroke.
He's far too animated for me. For his own good, I mean.
One rail up with a bit of outside. He acts like he doesn't like it. I think it's fine. Rather have a little more angle than not enough. perfect. Still strikes the ball very well. Bill, looking good.
Absolutely, that was a really nice rack. And he gets one on the board. I was telling you about those small amount of matches in losers round 2. Christos Papageorgiou 2-1 up on Brentworth now. 3-0 for Raymond Linares over Brad Guthrie. Same for Nick Malai over Joe McGee. And the teenager Sam Henderson now 2-0 over Patrick Gonzalez. Bernie Regulario 3-0 over Bill Smith Jr. So if you're involved in losers round 2, you've got a busy day today. Very busy.
Yeah, and Steiner trailing 2-0 versus Masoto. He definitely has a little steam on him right now.
Yeah, by the way, winners qualification, which sees a whole array of superb matches, that's beginning in just over 1 hour's time.
Yeah, you really get the feeling day 3 is the day where it all starts to come together here at the US Open.
Yes, at these World 9-Ball Tour major ranking events, I always enjoy day 3 and 4. Today, as I say, it's Judgment Day. Tomorrow, we've got last 64 and last 32 matches when it is single elimination. Julian Roper, the referee, putting the rack together. Will it be to Strickland's satisfaction?
Looks like Earl's breaking from where Marvin broke from. Yeah, so I think he's just caught it a fraction full. Earl might have told a little fib to me because he was definitely playing the one the last couple breaks. He is not happy the one come quite a ways long of the lower side pocket. Really everything dressing up nicely here. I believe the 3 passes in the lower left. The young man's style, similar in a lot of ways to Warren Kiamko, in my opinion.
Known as Goy Goy in the Philippines.
I believe this ball has no problem passing. He clipped the 6. That's not going to hurt. That's only going to help due to where the 7 is. And he's got options here for the purple 5. He can play it in the middle center, in the middle right or the lower right corner. Either one. He's going to go down for the right-hand side pocket here. Resting on the rail could be a little tricky. Doesn't want to have to fight with the 7 ball. Probably going to take distance on the 6. And that's what he's going to do. I don't blame him. Very mindful play. All the focus into making this ball. Earl. Now you get the feeling it looks like he's in the electric chair.
There's no doubt in my mind that this table has speeded up since day 1. Still don't think it's quite as fast as the one we had at the European Open, which was extremely swift, but it's fast enough.
This is actually a little awkward. He's got to hit this with speed. No, he's done great. Wow. What a great shot by Marvin Asis. Making it look very easy.
Yes, another good rack for the Filipino, who's now halfway to knocking out Earl Strickland. Michael Feliciano more than halfway to victory against Barry Hetherington, leading 5-0. Strickland here again, just chatting away to anyone who will listen. I've noticed a lot of referees circling this table. There goes Marcel Eckhart.
Yeah, and usually for Earl, it just takes one guy to get Earl's attention, or one woman, and he'll have somebody to talk to the rest of the match. Julian maybe putting his foot down a little bit.
He's had so many run-ins, hasn't he, with referees. Michaela Tabb comes to mind all those years ago when, after that argument, he brought out a bunch of flowers for her in the next match.
Yeah, I can't blame him. I love Michaela Tabb. Miss her a lot. One of the greatest.
But I think you can see it from the start with him. Yes, okay, sometimes he has a flashpoint in mid-match, but normally the way he starts is the way he continues through the match. And yesterday, or should I say on Monday, he was cool, calm and collected, and he played some nice stuff. Right from the get-go here, though, he just seemed as though he's on edge.
Yeah, I think he obviously understands that it's moving day. If he doesn't win this match, he's gone. He's probably struggling with a lot of frustration versus how good he used to play and how good he plays now. He talks about his equipment change, all about elevation or evolution, and both. He wants to get higher off the ground. He thinks tall players have an advantage.
Yeah, when you've been absolutely brilliant, the man in any sport, and then your skills, because of the aging process, decline, start to erode, it must be very, very difficult to come to terms with. Well, one thing we can tell you, they are changing the balls.
Interesting, because the balls broke very well for Asis. So an interesting move there.
In snooker, when they change the balls, it has to be mutual consent between both players. I can only assume that's been the case here.
Yeah, and maybe that's what we saw when the great Julian went over to Earl to speak with him. Maybe he wasn't scolding him. And to be honest, looking at Earl, I mean, he's just kind of talking to the crowd. He's not, doesn't seem to be real negative in any way.
Nothing negative for Michael Feliciano, 6-0 up on Barry Hetherington. What a day it was for Hetherington yesterday. The Canadian out there against Barry Hearn and then beating Shane Walford.
Yeah, and then Nathan Childress, another young talent, America Phil. He's tied up with the great Payne McBride, who we best keep an eye on in the next few years, at 2 apiece.
Marvin Asis keeping out of this, just keeping his own counsel, looking ahead, trying to retain as much concentration as he possibly can. Of course, our co-commentator Carl Boyes had his share of arguments with Earl Strickland at the Moscone Cup.
Yeah, I think Boise kind of fed off of that. Oh, there's the break. One goes long. did get a ball down. He's going to have a look at the one on the left side pocket. The green 6 getting kissed in. And this went from bad to decent where that cue ball finished. As long as he gets above the 2. Obviously he has to knock this down. Kind of a blind ball. He's done well. I think he's fallen perfect on the 2, Phil.
He's played a good match here. As they say at Wimbledon, new balls please, and the new balls are pleasing Marvin Asis at the moment.
Yes, they are. 2 rails up towards the 3. I really like this guy's touch. His way around the table is very, very smooth. Seems to use very little effort. They call that efficient. Yeah, good look there. He's almost dead straight. Going to get as much out of it as he can. 4 balls away. Just travel 1 rail out here. Body language tells me he wants to get straight or close to it. Draw back. He's going to extend the lead by 4 games.
New balls, same outcome. Marvin Asis looking good here. This is one of the best performances I think I've seen all round from anyone. Out on centre stage, he leads Earl Strickland 5-1. Strickland's done all of the talking. Asis has done all of the potting.
Yeah, and he still is doing all the talking.
Don't forget, if you want to see all of the action on Table 1 today, it is available for you on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. Right now, Sam Henderson 3-1 up on Patrick Gonzalez over there. That's in losers round 2. And there's also Matchroom TikTok, which covers Table 2, where right now, in a losers round 3 match, Luong Dok Tian leads Ali Alabaidli of Qatar 2-1. Michael Feliciano, first player today on the hill. He leads Barry Hetherington 7-0. Just a reminder, all of these losers round matches are a race to 8 until we get to losers qualification, when it's a race to 9. And when the winners qualification round kicks in less than an hour's time, that will be also a race to 9. Real head scratcher for Earl Strickland so far, literally.
In his defense, I mean, he hasn't had much to look at. Missed the 2 ball early, the lower left corner. Okay, that's another kiss for the ball in the lower left. What's the 1 going to do? It's going to be snookered. Rollout option.
Yeah, 3 break and run outs so far for Marvin Asis, but it's not going to be a 4th.
It was the purple 5 that was kissed in to the lower left. Mr. Carl Boys joining us, kind of listening in. So he did play the rollout. He's left it tough, in my opinion. I'm sure Earl will consider looking at his options. Boy, this is not easy from where he's at. You can kick behind this ball, Phil, with a high right ball, maybe. Over to the right side of the table and down below the 1-2. You might be able to bank it up a little, like that. Needs it to settle, but I think he's done good. You can't do any better than that. The only reason that was so scary is he's really only got one ball to cover. 6 and 7, pretty much in line. Great speed by the Pearl. Quickly to the 1, it did pass. This is an important moment for Earl. He needs to get out here. He's either going to act like he doesn't care, possibly make a mistake, or take it seriously. And I think he's forced to take it seriously because the life of his event is on the line. And now I think he's got to come one rail up unless he decides to go to the lower right ball and 2 rails towards the 6 on the right end of the table, and that's what he's debating now. Okay, well, it looks like he's hit it well, so the 2 rail line was okay. Really one big shot away, Phil.
He ran them nicely in rack 4. It's not a case of wasting chances, it's a case of getting chances.
Yeah, at that speed, that ball was easily missable. Overcut it just a fraction. It's going to end up just fine. A must-win game for Strickland.
Again, knocking them in with aplomb. So the deficit reduced to 5-2. Has to get the break going. Casper Matakainen 3-2 up on Hunter Lombardo. All of these matches I'm going to give you now on losers round 3. Matt Edwards 3-2 over Roberto Gomez. Nicholas de Leon 4-1 on Sean Wilkie. 5-2 for Roland Garcia over Khalid El Gamdi. 5-1 for Julio Burgos over Robert Hart. The first result of the day is in. Michael Feliciano made very short work of Barry Hetherington, winning 8-0 in around 40 minutes. Welshman Marcel Price going nicely against Brett Stottlemyre, leading 4-1. As Strickland just keeps talking and talking and talking some more.
He's developed an audience, so that will not stop the remainder of the match. You see Marcel right over there, the great head referee. Now, Earl. There we go. Is this the moment where it really all tends to unravel?
Yeah, so basically you're saying, is the volcano about to erupt?
It's basically what I'm saying, Phil. Such an odd form when he breaks. I'm not used to seeing that with him. The shoulder is all the way up into the chin. Back here in game number 8, Asis with another big opportunity. The layout is really sweet. He's going to take a little distance on the 4.
Scott, I think you'll agree. I like the way that Marvin Asis, A, is playing, and B, the fact he's just not getting involved, keeping his mouth shut and just doing what he's got to do, all business.
Yeah, it just seems like he's got a great attitude, all to himself. Nothing distracting him. If he plays like this going forward, this attitude, breaking the way he is, going to be tough to beat. Somebody's going to have to do something in order to beat him, in my opinion.
Well, if he does make losers qualification, which looks likely, he will play the loser of the winners qualification match between Donnie Mills and Max Lechner.
Nice touch there. All aware of getting to the top rail so he can punch down for the right side pocket on the brown 7. Now the speed's perfect. He is definitely dialed in.
As we've said before, marvellous Marvin. And now just 2 racks away from delivering the knockout blow to Earl Strickland.
I don't use break. Break hard.
Telling Marvin Asis to break hard. He's doing okay, as far as I'm concerned with the break. Why change a winning formula?
Yeah, agreed. I think you touched on it, Phil, just a little bit ago. His break is good as any we've seen on this table. Tyler Steyer trailing 3-1 versus Masato.
Yeah, we've just had a result as well. Nick Malai of Albania beating Joe McGee, whitewashing Joe McGee 8-0. That's in losers round 2, so only 4 matches in that round. Actually, 3 matches in that round still going on, because as I speak, news of Bernie Regamario's 8-0 whitewash of Bill Smith coming through.
Sam Henderson leading Patrick Gonzalez 4-2.
Filipinos going nicely this morning. Roland Garcia 6-2 up on Khalid Al Ghamdi, who a couple of years ago here won the Shane Van Burning Jr. Open. Khalid from Saudi Arabia. And what about Darren Appleton? Nice to see him playing again and playing okay. He's 5-3 up on Eric Hjorleifsen of Canada.
Yeah, this is interesting. First drive break in a while from Asis. 1 traveling high of the right side. Earl with an opportunity. 5 a little tied up to the 9, but it's manageable. Yeah, very good. I tell you what, he's really striking the ball well. He missed the 2 early on, but other than that, I don't recall what all he's done wrong outside of break dry.
Yes, when he beat Mike DeLauder in his first match, it was the break-off that was the most obviously deficient point of his game. If he could get that working, who knows, but it would be a long way back from here to win this one, especially when shape is lost like that.
Yeah, I don't know what he was really intending there, Phil. I think he was trying to draw full into the 9. He felt like the 5-9 were too tied up. Looked to me like the 5 would go in the lower left, but now... Oh, he's going to lose the cue ball here. He is not going to be happy about this.
I think our watchers will be happy about the first match from winners qualification we're going to see on the main table. Next up, after this, it will be Imran Majid of the UK against Shane Van Boening.
Is it that special week for SVB? You know, he defeated Bettergorst 120 to 116 last weekend. Rail Yard Billiards in Louisville, Kentucky. Is it his week? He's had plenty of practice. Number 6, Phil. Is it possible?
It most certainly is. And of course that would break the tie for most US Open wins that he currently has with Earl Strickland.
You just kind of get the sense with Shane and the level of competition nowadays that I don't want to say his time is running out, but you just get the sense that it's only going to get more difficult as time goes on, and he's highly aware of that. I think Marvin Asis is a morning person. He's just playing very well this morning. Did I just jinx him? He almost scratched in the side there, Phil. Wow, from nowhere. I didn't think that was on.
That really would have been the commentator's curse.
He's looking to go to the top left corner. Cue ball will just naturally travel 2 rails below the left side pocket. Oh, he's way overcut this.
That was his worst shot of the match, and the debate wasn't even close.
Yeah, I mean, that and the shot prior were both the worst shots of this match for him. Oh, what a shot. Awkward over the 9. What's this going to do? Deserves a good rub. He's frustrated. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, come on, Earl, you can knock this in. And he does so. The last thing you want to do is give Earl encouragement. Marvin Asis did so there. He had ball in hand. For all the world, it looked as though it was going to be Asis on the hill. But, hold on a minute.
Yeah, very shocking. He drew that cue ball towards the middle on the 7 ball.
Enjoyable match, though, I think. And if Strickland can win another couple of racks from here, Asis would be under considerable pressure. And you can tell out there's lots of support for Strickland. That rack, that 9 ball met with plenty of applause. He's 63 years of age. I don't think he'll ever mellow in terms of how he is out there.
Yeah, I think that's what makes him who he is. He's talking to Corey Deuel. They have been Moscone Cup teammates many, many times. I believe Corey is still in the event. Had dinner with him last night. He just went head on. Did the 8 get a flick? Oh, no, it did not. Not good news for Strickland.
Yes, Corey Jewell plays Jerry Ovalez of Venezuela a little later on.
Does the last game affect Marvin in any way, shape, or form? He must get out here. Do not want to give Strickland any momentum. But Earl decided to do away with the cut break. Smashed him head on. No luck. Just going to come off the left long rail here softly. Some players will choose to draw this out 2 rails. The next ball is purple 5 to the top left, or go 1 rail up. It's all player preference. Yeah, it's really good. Now he can go 1, 2, up to the right long rail. Straight in on the 6 isn't the end of the world. He'll just draw back here, Phil, and the rest is history.
Yes, we thought that in the previous rack, but I agree with you. I would be astounded if he messed this up. It is 1 rack later than we might have imagined, but Marvin Asis does reach the hill. He's 7-3 up. That means 4 ahead with a possible 5 to play. And the way Earl Strickland is breaking, I think his hopes are shrinking fast. Those losers' second round matches are dwindling down now. Christos Papageorgiou of Greece leads Brentworth 5-2. Raymond Linares 5-1 up on Brad Guthrie. Sam Henderson 5-2 over Patrick Gonzalez. That is a good performance so far over on Table 1. Just a reminder again, you can see all of the Table 1 play throughout the day and the week on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. And this has been going on all match. Strickland just talking the leg off an iron pot.
Yeah, it can't be good. There's just no way that can be good for his game. All these other tools he's adding to his arsenal, Phil, is a muzzle on the list.
Well, against certain opponents, I think it might unsettle, but it doesn't seem to be having that effect on Marvin Asis. By the way, Roland Garcia is into losers qualification, having beaten Khalid Al Ghamdi 8-3.
Phil just touched on how good he's been breaking, and sure enough, we do it every time. It's the curse of the commentators. Nothing down. And possibly the last opportunity for Earl Strickland.
If I get one more game, you couldn't say I don't belong.
Tell you what, Phil, he is hitting the ball well. Just doesn't seem like anything going off of his break, and that's really slowing him down. That's one of his exhibition shots. It's going to bite right here. All will be fine.
What a strange display, what a strange match. At various junctures of this contest, he's looked good.
Still goes through the object ball so clean. That cue ball stays very flat with this stroke. He's on the board again.
Yeah, 7-4, and given his pedigree, given his heart, who knows? But you know, in 9-ball pool, the break is supposed to be an asset. Today, at points, for Strickland, it's been a liability. If he could get that going, this match not over yet. Hunter Lombardo, originally from Florida, now based in New York City, 5-3 up on Kasper Matikainen. Roberto Gomez, 4-3 on Matt Edwards. 5-3 for Nicolas De Leon over Sean Wilkie. 3-3, Charles Darwin Vergara and Sharik Saeed from Singapore. Julio Burgos, 6-3 on Robert Hart. Lucas Fracasso Werner giving Victor Zielinski a real match. It's 3-3. Darren Appleton, 2 racks away from victory over Eric Hjorleifsen at 6-3. Marcel Price, 6-2 over Brett Stottlemyre. Masato Yoshioka, 4-2 on Tyler Steyer. Could have big Mosconi Cup ramifications, that match on table 5. It's 5-5, Dang Tan Kien and Tim de Ruyter. And in the battle of the youngsters, Nathan Childress and Payne McBride, 3-3.
He's decided to just smack him, and that's the most success he's had. He's made the 6 in the lower right corner, but I believe the 2 is going to slow him down from being able to see the 1.
12 breaks.
He might be able to get a piece of it. Going immediately to the push out.
Clearly the break is the bone of contention with Strickland. That's what he's been talking about basically from the outset.
And as much time as you think he still puts in to his craft, if I were his coach, I would make most of that time on the break. He really has no intentions.
I meant they bounce this off the rail a little.
Asis passes it up, gives it back to Earl. Tries to miss the 2. Oh, and it actually got a flick on the 2 even better. Phil. He's got him elevated directly over the 4. Can he come 2 rails to this short rail, then the right long rail? Get any separation. And that's too tight out of that lower right corner. A big chance to pull within 2.
Yeah, the way he's been knocking them in, why not?
Four to the 5, where all the work's going to come. And it looks to me like coming long of the 5, playing the 5 in the same corner as the 3 is the least risk. I think he's aware of that. You can kind of just get out to the middle of the table. Yeah, he's aware of it. Very nice play. And he's falling dead straight. Strickland looking fired up.
Yeah, and once again, this 30-second shot clock on the main table having no hindering effect whatsoever.
Yeah, he almost thought he overhit that ball.
Roars of approval. Now the deficit only 7-5, and you can come back from there. Anyone can. Christos Papageorgiou of Greece as when he loses second round match, 8-2 against Brent Worth. Sam Henderson in the same round on the hill against Patrick Gonzalez at 7-2. Raymond Linares 6-1 upon Brad Guthrie. So then we go to losers round 3. Nicholas De Leon on the hill against Sean Wilkie at 7-3. Roberto Gomez in a tactical affair against Matt Edwards. Gomez leading 4-3. Hunter Lombardo 6-3 up on Kasper Matakainen. Julio Burgos on the hill against Robert Hart at 7-3. And no change in the Tyler Steyer score against Masato Yoshioka. Yoshioka, the Japanese World Cup player, 4-2 ahead. Victor Zielinski, who's got bags of talent, the youngster from Poland, is now just edged ahead against Lucas Fracasso Werner at 4-3.
Two games ago, Earl broke him from the center. Just smashed him with no real intent. Came up dry. Last game he broke him from the corner of the box area with power. He did luck one in. It made a difference.
That hunched up break style, head in shoulder.
It's just not going to work, Phil. Racking these balls with the 9 on the spot, you have to cut them. Crushing them head on just doesn't seem to do it. If it did, they'd all be doing it.
Yeah, Strickland breaks dry. Thankfully for him, the one hasn't got a pocket.
No, and how does Marvin respond? A couple quick games for Earl. He's going at the 2 here. Yeah. Does Earl have a look at the 1? I don't know. By the arm movement, says no, he does not. He doesn't like the jump cue, but this is definitely jumpable. containing for now. Is there room, if you kick to the right long rail, to get the one past the two? Just keep him snookered behind the two. Yes, there is. And that is very good by Marvin Asis.
It's a sweeping generalization, I know that. But it's true, the Filipinos, when it comes to kicking, they are so skilled. I know that one was a short-range effort, which wasn't exactly complex, but he played it delightfully.
Yeah, you can't imagine there was a lot of space between that top rail and the two. Not only was it delightful, but he's literally glued Earl. Does Earl think he can elevate a little and get a sliver of the one?
Well, I think he committed a time foul.
Was it a time foul, or did he catch a piece of the two?
No, the time foul occurred before he played the shot.
Wow.
I heard Julian Roper shout time foul because the beeps were running low, and it could be, I was going to say, his last shot of the tournament. Actually, it wasn't a shot, was it? Because it was a foul before it was played.
Yeah, his last at the table. A foul? He would not be in love with that. And we've highlighted that the shot clock never bothers Strickland. Well, what do you know?
But what I can't understand is that the beeps are very audible in the arena. He must have heard them going down.
Gotta be careful trying to come all the way down between the 7 and 9. Just pay attention. That's why you've got to be careful. I believe he's okay. Why do you get the feeling that this isn't over quite yet? Can he come 2 rails out of the top corner? If not, he's got that awkward angle. Position from the 7 does lead him over here towards the 8. Really one good shot left to seal the deal.
He messed up on the 7 in rack 9, but not there. And Earl Strickland's US Open is about to end. Indeed, that is the case. His break-off proved too big a handicap to overcome. Marvin Asis played nicely. He made 3 break-in run-outs early on in leading 5-1, and he wasn't about to be caught. Marvin Asis defeats the 5-time US Open champion Earl Strickland by 8 racks to 5.